Hi everybody, Janet Robin here, and we're going to talk about basic tapping. Really super cool technique popularized back in the 80s by people like Eddie Van Halen. But it's still used now, and I like to use it sparingly. I throw it in every once in a while, you know, in the middle of a regular solo. It's just another, you know, cool tool to have in my toolbox. All right. It's not that hard, but it does take a little bit of strength and a little bit of coordination. So, people can tap with various fingers. We're going to do basic tapping, so we're only going to use one finger, and that's going to be the middle finger, okay? We're also only going to use one string today. You can use tapping on any strings and, you know, all up and down the fretboard. Let's talk about the actual technique, all right? And also how you're going to place your hand. I like, personally, to mute these lower strings, or strings rather, that I'm not tapping or playing at all. Okay, you also have to hold your pick at the same time, because after tapping some section, you may have to go back to some strumming or some picking of something else in the song, right? So you got to hang on to your pick. You've got to mute some of these strings, and then you got to get in place for your tapping. All right, so the tapping, let's go here on the high E string to fret 9. Okay, you're going to tap the string. They call it tapping, but basically it's a hammer. It's a hammer and a pull off. And in this case, you're going to pull up towards you. So you want to get that technique of slamming down that string and then pulling it up and off. And you want to try to get in the middle of the fleshy part of the tip of your finger. You get a nice fat sound that way. Let's do 3 of these together. Of course, more repetitions, the better. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now, what makes it sound cool is when you add your left hand. And I'm going to be adding hammers and pull-offs. All right, so I'm going to stick with the same string, the high E, and I'm going to now hammer and pull off on the 5th fret after I do the tap. Okay, so you have this, almost like an answer back, right? Let's practice 3 of those. Hammer, pull off. That's 2. 3. Okay, now I'm going to add another hammer and a pull off with my ring finger, and I'm going to be hammering and pulling off on fret 7 with the tapping in between. Okay, let's do 3 together. Last one. Okay, if I'm going too fast, slow it down. And of course, more repetitions. It sounds so cool with the open notes. I'm a big proponent for using open notes in solos, and in this case, it's like all part of tapping. Okay, so basically that's like the first riff that I did, and I ended on a vibrato on a single note. You don't have to do that, but that's what I did. So I went, I think it was like 4 times. Actually, it's 3. 3 total. 2, 3. And then I ended on the 5th fret with a vibrato. And then I moved up and I did the same exact thing a whole step up. And now I am on 7 and 9. I changed my tapping note now to fret 10. So it's very close together here, but it's the same concept, same technique. Okay, so tapping and then a hammer, pull off on 7, tapping, hammer, pull off on 9. Okay, let's do 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I did the same thing where I ended on a single note at the end of that phrase, and it ends on fret 7, and I think it's the same amount of time, so 3 times. 2, 3. Okay, so let's do the 2 together. All right, so the first one, remember you're tapping on 9, and then you're going to move up and tap on 10 when you go up a whole step. So and move up. Okay, the phrases always start with the tapping. So that's something that hopefully will help with the form of this particular riff. Now, what did I do next? I went to 9 and 10. I'm going to do a little baby one here, and I moved my tapping all the way up to 12. So I went from 9 to 10. I'm doing the hammer and pull off on 9 and 10. So, and the tapping is on 12. Here we go. Nine and 10. Let's do 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I did the same thing where I ended on one note at the end, and that would be on fret 9. And so it's 1, 2, 3. So same concept. Let's do all 3, and I'll go really slow. You can always do it even slower than me. Okay, so here we go, starting with the first one. Tapping will start on 9, then we'll move to 10, and then we'll move all the way up to 12 with our middle tapping finger. Move. Move. And then you can move back down. And finally back to the beginning. Okay, so you want to practice that slow and then work up your speed. Sections. I like to do sections, so maybe just the first one over and over, repetition, to get really comfortable with that. Bump up the speed. Okay, then you would move up here. Okay, so you're going to work on that, and you're going to get it nice and smooth, and hopefully work up your speed. last little thing that I did is really cool, really important, and you can use it even just, you know, separate from tapping. What I did was I bent up the string, and I was tapping. So I'm bending up as I'm letting the bend come down. I'm tapping really, really fast on fret 9. Okay, so that's a really cool technique to use. It sounds good on any string. You can try it on the G. It sounds really good on G. Okay, now I'm tapping on 12. All right, I'm bending the string. I'm controlling the bend myself. I'm not just letting the bend drop on its own. I'm purposely, you know, dropping it on my own time. All right, I hope you enjoyed today's little tip on basic tapping. Remember, practice hard, practice strong, practice long. See you next time.